as real as it gets.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
Give it to me, baby.
All right, welcome to the UCW Radio Show. As you know, we have inspirational, motivational, great people on this show. Each and every episode that we have, it's something interesting. As you see behind me, I have some action. I have really a great talent, singer, fitness athlete. She's doing all types of things. Her name is Dawn Derow, and I want to bring her on the show. And Dawn, welcome to the UCW Radio Show. How are you?
I am great. Thanks, Lou. Thanks
Good.
for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. It's been a little while in the making with us doing this, and I think I need a pinch more light if I can make it happen. I don't know.
How's my lighting? Is it okay?
Your lighting's perfect.
Here.
My lighting, I just got better. Okay, good. All right. So now I want you to tell.
Cheers.
Yeah, definitely. I'm drinking water. What are you drinking?
Just seltzer water.
Okay, seltzer water is good. All right. So what I want people to know is more about you. You've done a lot of great things. You're a cabaret singer. You competed in the WBFF, figure and fitness. You're an actress, a writer, and you do yoga. You do all types of things. And I want people to learn more about you because I've heard you. I've seen you in action. Your voice is it's strong. It's like that 1920s and 40s, a type of voice that comes out. It's amazing, So tell us a little more about you.
Yeah, I'm a multifaceted woman. That's for sure. I think I've even been called a Renaissance woman in a couple reviews.
Oh, cool.
I've done. I'm a singer first and foremost. I mean, music is my passion. Singing is my passion. And all types of music. I range from, I studied opera, so I have a classical background. I went to the Boston Conservatory. I did musical theater for a really long time. I was a dancer. I obviously was an actor, or I still am an actress as well. But I went and studied acting in London, of all places. So I got some really great training there.
Cool.
And I'm still taking acting lessons now. Only now everything's on Zoom, which is such a different.
We don't talk about Zoom on here. We don't talk.
Oh my gosh! Here.
We scratched that from here.
Everything's on a screen.
Everything's on a screen. Yeah,
I'm acting with the camera on my computer, but I sing, jazz. I'm a cabaret artist known in the New York scene. I've won a couple of pretty awesome awards. I have 2 MAC awards, and MAC is Manhattan Association of Cabarets and Clubs. I have a Bistro Award, and I'm about to release an album, which is going to be great, and I'll tell you guys all about that.
Oh, yeah. We definitely have to talk about that to let people know so they can support what you're doing.
Yeah, I also play guitar, so I write songs too. I'm a singer-songwriter. So I love to do like that, kind of female rock, singer-songwriter, alternative rock, Linda Ronstadt, Sarah McLachlan, Jewel, I love all those types of singers.
So you go from a Linda Ronstadt to a Nina Simone type of deal. You can do a broad range of things.
Into, an opera aria from La Boheme. Yes. Well, yeah. All one voice, it's just different colors,
And you went to school for this. I know you're from Massachusetts, but you don't have the accent. You're not going to the car too far. You're not doing the Matt Damon thing. We're not doing that today.
Can I say that on the show? Yeah. No, I'm from Cape Cod, and my parents are originally from New Jersey. So I think a lot of my family members, and I was born in Baltimore, so I have a lot of family in Maryland and Jersey still. And my dad grew up in Brooklyn too, and
he's my friend. He
was born in Brooklyn, and so like my family says Dawn. They're like Dawn, oh Dawny, they call me Dawny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We moved to Cape Cod, and then somehow it all got mixed in. And I think my theater background, my mom's full Italian, so I didn't grow up speaking Italian, but because I learned how to sing in it, and I learned how to sing in different languages. And then I travel a lot in Italy, and I learned to speak there. I don't know, you learn so much different kinds of diction and different ways to speak, and it just becomes like a little bit of a melting pot of a dialect. So, and then I lived in New York for 20 years now. So.
Oh, so you're a full-fledged New Yorker now.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. And the thing is, being diverse as you are, from your musical arenas, you go the gambit, from again from rock and opera, the jazz, and then the cabaret. You do all this stuff, and it's not everyone can do that. And my point is that you're talented. Not everyone can do that. You can have a rock star can be the biggest thing in rock music. Doesn't mean they're going to sing opera or they're going to be able to do a jazz song. It's rare that you have that broad range.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think too, I like to attribute it to being an actress as well. And being drawn into the story of what I'm singing, of what each piece of music and song that sparks some interest in me to sing. I mean, people are always like, "What's your favorite song to sing?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, geez, that's a really hard one, and it depends on the day, I think. And I love I think I've always, from a young age, loved the challenge of singing, whether it's singing in a different language or singing a really hard piece of music, like, some of the jazz standards are, chromatically very hard. The melodies are very challenging. And I really do. I love to learn. I love to challenge myself as a musician. I love to work with really, really good musicians, whether they are voice teachers or music directors, producers. When I'm hiring for a show that I'm doing, with whatever the genre might be, I'm always looking for like the best of the best. I want to work with, if it's a show that's kind of more rock based, I want to find a really good guitar player. If it's a jazz trio, I want like a really hot, tight drummer and like just beautiful bass player and pianist, So I try to surround myself with men and women who are
talented,
amazing musicians. Yeah.
And I think that when you're like that, some people may think that you're a perfectionist, that it needs to be a certain way. I think in music, what you hear, and it's funny because you can hear something that I can't, and whenever I speak to musicians, they can hear something that another musician is doing. They know when something's slightly off. And this is what when you're bringing these people together to put together your background, who's going to fit and who doesn't. So it must be hard for them to, get through your gates, because I can see it now. It's a whole process.
Well, they carry me, right? I mean, right. It's like they elevate me, they carry me, and then together we kind of all rise. It's like a plane taking off. You have to have your pilot, your co-pilot, your crew. You got to have them all so that you can have a nice smooth flight throughout a show or whatever it is. And I think too, my personality, I've always been very confident from a very young age. I've always been a goofball and, loved to pose. So I think that came naturally for me to be on stage and to embrace, putting on different costumes and just being an authentic performer, whether I'm playing just myself and just getting up and telling a story, from me, from my heart, or whether I'm playing a character in a musical or an opera, or even a play, so it's fun. I think I love to describe it as, like, when I sing, I use all the colors of my voice, and
I like that description. I like that.
Yeah, it goes with my background.
I love that background. I love it, and we're going to talk about that background later.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. You know, being involved in cabaret, being an actor, and doing this stuff. I mean, the situation with the pandemic and with everything shutting down, has that put a big kind of did it push you back a little bit with your
Mhm.
performances? I would imagine it did a little bit.
It definitely deflates you in a way. I mean, I've talked to a lot of my fellow musicians and singers, who are kind of in the same boat as I am, whether they had like a great run of shows that were totally booked out all year and pulled, the rug was pulled out from under them in terms of their bookings, or they have an album they're about to release. And it was like, I had this momentum going. And now it's like just
Yeah.
deflated. And Deflategate, that's what we can call it. I think
Hey, he has 7 rings. We can't talk too much about him.
I know. My dad's a huge fan, so I'm not a big football fan, but
Okay.
I'm a fan for my dad. But I think that deflating feeling, like, what's comforting, and I know that's not really the right word, but is that we're all going through it. It's not just like one person's like, oh, that girl, she just lost all her gigs. Damn, we all lost our gigs.
Right.
We all, like, none of us can perform the way we did. And I think some have been able to get creative. I think I've been one of those people. I've definitely filled my time. I'm not a slow mover. I am a mover and a shaker and a hustler. So I was like, okay, got to stay inside. Great. I can work on my website. Great. I can like get more YouTube followers. Great. I can, work on my brand. I can, the list of things that I had already. And also the album that's coming out. I mean, that was one of the things. I mean, we lost one of our recording dates. We started on February 20th, actually,
Right.
Last year. Went into the studio like, yay. And then the second date was supposed to be March 20th. Was something like that. I can't remember. It
That's
doesn't
when
matter.
everything began.
And so it was the 29th. It was supposed to be. And I remember my musicians like, hey, Dawn, like, I just lost all my gigs for like the next year in 2 days. Are you going to keep your recording date? Because it was it was me and my trio, my producer, the engineer, my partner, John, my boyfriend, it was just going to be us. So I thought, that's a small group. Like, that's fine, right? And I was trying to hold on to it. And I remember writing to my bass player and my drummer, Daniel Glass, my drummer, and Tom Hubbard's my bass player. And they were like, hey, Dawn, do you think that we can still do it? And I was like, yeah, guys, no problem. And then my music director and my producer, are a little older, and they were like, they were concerned, like most people were. And they were like, yeah, no, we can't. We can't do it. So we pushed it back to September. So we did finish it in September, at least our parts, at least what we had to record. So things like that. I released White Christmas, which was the first kind of single of the CD. And I was able to, because I had footage from the recording date, I just reached out to my videographer and said, hey, let's just put together a really cool kind of like vintage looking, travel through time back to 1941 White Christmas video. And it did really well. I was really proud that we were able to get it out as quickly as we did around the holidays. So.
Well, you're fortunate because a lot of people couldn't get back to performing. Still to this day, a lot of performers, especially on Broadway, the Broadway's not even open up yet, so, all these workers, they're different than if you're an actor on a film or on a TV set. They work job by job, so night by night. If they don't work, they don't get paid. So all of that has been a big snowball of things, and hopefully, they start opening up somewhat. I would think that they would do virtual things, at least get something out.
Some people have, and I feel bad too, because those singers and dancers and actors on Broadway, they bust their butt 8 times a week.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I guess I'll just keep drinking my wine on my couch. I mean, I just, what I think crushes me is, and I wasn't singing every day because I have another job. I'm a fitness instructor and I'm, that's my career as well. So I like to do a lot of different things, but I feel for them because they got to practice their craft every single day. They got to sing and perform and go through that range of emotions on stage for huge full houses every day. I've been, as a cabaret artist, the past 12, 13 years now, I've picked and choose when I wanted to perform. I was like, oh, well, I'm going to write a show. I'm going to produce it. I'm going to hire everyone that's going to be in it with me. And then I'm going to do it on these couple of dates and I'm going to get some reviews and record it. And then, so it kind of goes through a cycle like that. And then, and then I get another idea and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to do a show all about, Revolution. I did a show called Revolution with my friend Kathleen France, and we won our first MAC award for that, and it was like what it's like to be at war in America. It was a fun show. I mean, it was a couple years ago, so it's a little outdated, but I mean, we had a joke about Ebola in that show, so that's all.
and then you think about it now, like, okay, maybe should have not had that in there.
It was it was perfect, but yeah, it wouldn't fly today.
Yeah.
It would be like so not PC. Like, what?
It's too funny.
Yeah.
So
but it was a fun show.
So now with I'm gonna touch a little bit more on your music. Then I want to talk about your fitness stuff and what you're doing there. Now, you have something that you said you were working on. You finished up in September. Tell us about what's going on with your new album that's coming out.
So the album is called My Ship: Songs from 1941. And picture me as a vintage pinup girl. And I started doing the show in 2017, and it went on to win several awards. I won Best Female Vocalist in 2018. My director won a MAC award and a Bistro award. And I sang in his honor at the Bistro Awards for that year. And I've done it. It started on the Cape. I've done it in New York. I've done it in Baltimore, Connecticut, wherever they want me, I'm there. I'll do it. It's a great show, and it kind of explores what it was like to be a woman in 1941, whether she was a housewife, whether her husband had just left for the war, whether she was a saloon singer, a jazz singer back then, or Rosie the Riveter, that was just right when the Rosie the Riveters were starting out, and women were being asked to work in the factories. And there's so much great music from that year. It's ridiculous. So you've got At Last, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, Blues in the Night, Lover Man, Oh Where Can You Be, Skylark. White Christmas was actually written earlier, but Bing Crosby first sang it on Christmas Day, 1941, 18 days after the Pearl Harbor attack. So that's kind of why I do that song, because it was, and that recording was either lost or taped over. So he recorded it the following year in 42. What else? I've Got It Bad and That Ain't Good, Just Squeeze Me. And then, of course, the big World War II anthem, White Cliffs of Dover, which I use like my operatic voice and I sing, it's like I go from like this jazz and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa! But it's great. I'm so proud of the show. My music, my crew, I call them my crew. My music director is Ian Herman on piano, Tom Hubbard on bass, Daniel Glass on drums. Paul Rolnick is producing it. He's the mixing engineer, and then we did our recording at an awesome studio that's run by David Stoller out in Astoria. It's called the Samurai Hotel Recording Studio. and it's beautiful there. And we had a great time. We like I said, we finished in September, and we were wearing masks in between takes. I didn't wear a mask while I sang, but everyone else was wearing masks. And it was a big enough studio where we could kind of socially distance. We were all in our separate rooms. And yeah, I'm hoping for June. We're adding strings, we're adding horns right now. Benny Benack is going to play on it. Benny Benack III. He's like a new hot up and coming jazz star. I don't even think he's up and coming. I think he's
he already came. He's there. So.
Yeah, he's a hot shit. Let me tell you. And he's playing trumpet and cornet on some things. And then I just hired Aaron Hike, who's played for David Letterman on the Late Show, and Linda Eder. Amazing.
But you see, you have all these people. You're bringing all these great talents together, and just like you don't watch sports, but just like in football, if you don't have a great quarterback that's a great leader, you're not gonna bring these people together to perform at their best. You bring you're like the magnet, bringing them in, and it just shows the talent that you are. Because to sing at last, that's a song that not anyone can just sing. It has a certain sound to it, and if you don't do it right, it's not going to sound like it should.
Yeah. It's great. I'm so proud of it, and I'm really glad honestly, in some ways with the pandemic, making an album is expensive. It's
sure
not a drop in the bucket.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough to come and move in with my boyfriend up here in North Salem. So I subletted my apartment in the city. So it's like, okay, well, I don't have to pay rent, so I can put my money towards my album now, and
right.
That's been really helpful, because I don't know, I'd had to do like a Kickstarter campaign or something in order to afford to pay for it, because it's
a lot of people have done that too, because see, and now that you bring that up, it's interesting. I think a lot of people, unless you understand or have a friend that's a musician that made, that goes to the studio and does all this stuff, you don't know the expenses that just pile up. When you go to a studio one time, you can be there for 3-4 hours, whatever the case may be. It's not cheap. I mean, it's costing you a few bucks to do it.
Yeah.
And how many? Yeah, and then you're not going into the studio one time. You're going in there several times, and so I mean, that's one part of the equation. That's one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is everything else that you have to do there.
Yeah, I mean, my producer Paul Rolnick, he says, look, you already, with just the trio, you already have a beautiful album, and now we're going to go back in and add strings and horns. And as he says, he's like, this is an album that will carry you for the next 30 years. I mean, it's
epic.
Once you have it, it's going to keep going. It doesn't matter what age I am. I can keep doing this music. I can keep celebrating it. And the cool thing about this year is it's 80 years ago. I mean, I was like, it's like New Year's, and I'm like, wait a minute, 2021, 1941. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. No, that and the thing is that era to me was a magical time. I mean, I love that era. It was a magical time, and the women's movement, and and I have to say this, because during that time when you had the war going on, the women, they carried everything on they weren't fighting, they were fighting behind the scenes. Making sure that uniforms, weapons, all this stuff was getting out there, doing the collections and doing whatever they needed to do to keep things moving in the right direction. And then you had some that were on the front lines as nurses, and even warriors on the front line. So I like bringing that up because it's important. Yeah.
Who just got married, who didn't even know if they were going to see their husbands again, or the father of their children. And It's cool. And I definitely, I mean, it's interesting because like we were talking about before, you know, I come from all these different musical backgrounds.
Mhm.
And I mean, 1941 kind of fell in my lap. I was hired to do a show in Provincetown for the Cabaret Fest in 2017. And at the time, I was listening to Anita O'Day's version of My Ship, like
Mhm.
this obviously a couple months before. And it was just kind of on repeat. I was just, you know, I was like, my ship has sails that are made of silk. I'm like, oh, this song's so gorgeous. I love it.
Mhm.
And I love Anita O'Day. I think she's probably one of my favorite jazz singers to listen to. And she's just incredible. And I thought I was hired to do this show, and the theme was the 40s.
Mhm.
And I looked and I was like, oh, that song was written in 1941. Let's see what else was written in 1941. And then you just start building it. And that's one thing I love about being a cabaret singer is the process of putting together these shows, building them from one song, literally one song, and then just putting all these songs together. Obviously you throw out a lot. You're like, oh, okay, we don't need that one. Or okay, we need a funny song. So I have like this novelty song called the Hutsut song
Mhm.
in it. And it's like, it was like number 65 on the charts. Like it's like, but I make it a funny thing. Like, you guys ready for song 65? But it was like this big novelty song. And, you know, you got to have some funny stuff. You know, Dumbo was the movie of the year from Disney. And then you find out all these really cool and interesting facts. And
Do you share that with people when you go on stage? You share these fun facts?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole show. Like, that's my in-between patter. I mean, like,
Right.
example, the Moscow Mule was invented in 1941.
Really? I didn't know that. Look at that.
M&Ms were invented in 1941.
Right.
And the reason that they have the hard shell is because they wanted to, they used to come in like this cylinder, you know, that was like a round, small little cylinder.
Right.
And they used to ship them over to the soldiers.
Oh, they used to come in plastic tubes?
They were in a plastic tube, and the hard candy coating that they created on the M&M was so that they wouldn't melt. Get it? Like,
Right.
no.
Melt in your mouth, not in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just all these really interesting things, you know, like bacon. I can't remember exactly, but bacon was more expensive than gas, you know. It's just
Yeah, but it's funny how I mean, for me, I love history, so you learn from that. But it's interesting how some things in history, you know, you look at it today and it's like, I can't believe it. You know, when I tell people that, you know, at some point in time, when you went to a bar, you had a drink, you didn't have peanuts there, you had caviar because it was cheap at the time. Same way you had peanut butter, which at one point in time was a luxury, but now it sustains people and it's cheap. So how things change, it's crazy.
That lobster was thought, I mean, it is a bottom feeder, but lobster was like given to like the help.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they call them the rats of the sea or something like that. And then it like flipped, and now it's like this.
Yeah, someone decided with a marketing plan. Same thing with diamonds. They make diamonds look like they're so rare, but they're not. They're in abundance. They just hide them. You know.
That was kind of like the Moscow Mule, which I actually do love to drink. And in the show, I pretend like I'm drinking one and getting drunk, and then I go into a really, really fun version of Chattanooga Choo Choo, which was also from that year, and I'm hoping that's going to be my first single.
The Chattanooga Choo Choo?
Yeah, it's really fun. We do it kind of funky. I make it like it's all like sexual innuendos. It's kind of like, it's like my way of objectifying the man.
Okay.
Giving back, you know, Lou, just all those times I'm just teasing, but, yeah, no, it's really fun. And like you said, like with the expenses, you know, I really want to do a music video, and that's one that I really want to do. Like I have this whole vision of pinup girls and dancers. Like, you know, I was a dancer, so I think it'd be really fun to do a video. So
Well, I tell you this much, and anyone that's listening to this,
I know.
yeah, if you have people that are listening to the show and watching the show, you have so many talents that are even in school and they need projects like this. Okay, and they're really good at what they do and they're innovative. They're innovative and they like doing disruptive things. They like being creative. Maybe one of these people will step up and maybe want to work with you and bring your expenses down way low. Way low.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I think it's be really fun. I'm actually
They're planting that seed for you out there, planting it. So
I have my eye on a Broadway choreographer. So I actually have a conversation with him tomorrow. So hopefully it goes well.
well, he better go well. Tell him it better go well. So
yeah.
So now I mean with the music, we talked about this, off camera, as we were gearing up to the show, you did other shows, you performed and everything. This is not what we're doing here. If you want to, you can, but I want more so to tell your story of because you're again multifaceted. You have a lot of things going on. Music is one part of it. Music is one part of it, and we're gonna get back to your music in a second. I want to talk about your acting. I want to talk about your writing. I want to hear about that.
Well, I just literally last night finished an online acting for camera acting class, and it's been great because I actually, when the pandemic started, that was one thing I was like kind of on my bucket list that I just never seemed to have time to get back to. Mm-hmm. Like that it had been a couple of years. And I went on to the website for T. Schreiber Studio and I was like, you know what, I'm going to sign up for an acting class. And it's been so great. I just have to, my next goal is to create an acting reel so that I can submit myself for TV and film.
Right.
And
gotta get the sizzle. The sizzle.
Yes. So now I have a ton of scenes that I've worked on. Last night I actually did a scene from As Good as It Gets, and I did the Helen Hunt part.
Okay.
And so it's really been fun to work in that way. And I think for me, because I came from more of a theater background in terms of acting, we're very big and loud and gestury and, everything has to be played to the huge audience or the stage or to the fourth wall, as we say. And with TV and film, it's all real small, it's like no movement and they want to see you think. And so it's been really cool. And also even the tone of my voice, like not only because I'm a singer, but I did group fitness for years. So projecting is not my problem. I have, my boyfriend, I'm like, good thing you love me because I'm loud. And that's, I come from a loud Italian family. And
at least he'll know you're coming. He'll know you're coming. When you're coming into a room, he'll know.
Yeah. So with on camera stuff, you have to really downplay that. So it's been cool. And my writing, I actually have some ideas to write, a script, but that's another thing keeps getting pushed to the bottom of the list.
Well, that's what happens. Life gets in the way, things happen, and you never have that time. And with this pandemic, everything that happened, it's good and bad. It's good because people that are creative were forced to be more creative, and all of a sudden, all this stuff starts flowing because you're not going to sit on your couch, as you mentioned, sit on your couch and drink wine and watch TV and hope for the best. You have to keep yourself active because if you're not active, you're not creating. You feel like you're the Walking Dead, and you're not that type.
No, and I agree with you. I think that I probably posted that a couple times on Instagram, like, don't forget to create, like do something creative today, like find some motivation. For me, I've always been a very motivated person and inspired by other things and other people. And especially women too. Like I'm so inspired by other women, my fellow goddesses, I call them. And, I think that it's really important that we lift each other up, and that, there's just so much negativity and hate out there. Like, there's just no need for it. So
there's so much of that, and there's so much good out there. And that's why I love highlighting good people that are doing great things, because they inspire. This is why I do this show. I do this show so I can highlight people like yourself and put you out there so people know your story. They know what you've done, how you're and what you're doing now, and how you're inspiring. Because and we're not talking about the inspiration part. People should know this. You're on social media, you're posting stuff, you're trying to motivate people, as opposed to just pushing yourself. You're trying to get people to get moving, moving and do something.
Yeah.
And I think that
one thing I think you've probably noticed is that, and I've done this for the past couple of months too, is trying to just make videos of different types of exercise or mobility. I still have quite a few clients, and most of them moved online. Some of them I lost, and that's okay. They move on. That's fine. I started a stretch class. I reached out to people that I had worked with all over, like not just in New York, but on Cape Cod. I was a couple summers ago, I worked at a studio in Wellfleet called Hardcore Studio, and I had a couple of clients from there. So I was able to email like my huge list of contacts and clients, and I said, hey, you guys want to do a stretch class while we're sitting around during this pandemic? And if so, what time and day works for you? Like anytime, just let me know. We started with Sunday, then we added Wednesday. Now we do Friday too. And some of them like don't miss, they never miss. And some of them are couples. I have a couple in Boston, in Brooklyn, on the Cape. And now I'm adding like some of my cabaret friends. Like
that's awesome, though. You're bringing people together, and this is what life is about: bringing people together. And you're utilizing fitness to do it.
Well,
and we transitioned into fitness right now, so it's important because this is a part of your life.
Movement is so important, and staying healthy. And we could do a whole other show about just about health and fitness, and I'll try not to get on my soapbox too much. But I think it's really important. I think as you get older, if you got to keep moving and stretching, moving your limbs. I've had a lot of requests for footwork, so I did this whole foot functionality video, which you can find on YouTube. It just surpassed my White Christmas video.
Your foot video?
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's some of my music things that do better than my yoga things, and then like it's just interesting. And I think that one of my biggest goals when we went into lockdown was, okay, well, who am I, and what's my brand, and how am I putting that all together? And for so many years, if I had a nickel for every time someone said to me, like, you need to pick something, you need to pick one thing and focus on it. And I was like, no, I can't do that. And that was like, 10 years ago when
people tell me this all the time, focus on one thing. I said, I can't. I'm doing this. I'm doing a million things. I can't focus on one thing.
Yeah, I don't think it serves certain people to do that. It does. Absolutely. Some people are just singularly focused, and that's great for them. I'm not. Just like my singing, I'm multifaceted, not only in this music I listen to, but in the fitness and in my toolbox of tricks. Like I'm a personal trainer. I've done group fitness. TRX. I used to do kickboxing. I'm a yoga, certified teacher. I'm also a body worker. I'm a Thai massage therapist. I do cupping. I do kinesiology tape. What am I missing? I'm a mobility coach.
But when you do all this stuff, Dawn, and the cool thing about it is that, and people should know this too, the more things you do, the more stuff you're involved with, the more people you're meeting, the more worldly you become. You meet the people from all different, walks of life, and it's pretty cool.
Well, I think for me, it's all umbrellaed under one slogan, and that's, I like to make people feel good. So if it's singing to them, I'm making them feel good. If it's stretching them or teaching them a yoga class or meditating with them, I'm making them feel good. Or if I'm giving them a massage, So for me, it's really all umbrellaed under that. Like, I'm just giving off my natural energy, my positive energy to make people smile, feel good, feel positive, I mean, that's what I ask my clients at the end of every hour. It's like, okay, how do you guys feel? Oh, I feel great. I feel so good. Thank you so much. That was, amazing. And then the next day or the next time I see them, they're like, oh God, whatever we did the other day was so great. I feel so good. Awesome. I did my job. Done.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You're trying to touch people. You're trying to touch people in a way that can leave a lasting memory, and stuff like that is cool. That's why, with music and with the acting and everything else, you leave indelible marks on people. And not everyone can do that. You have a ton of actors out there, but how many can you say that really touched you? That really touched your soul? I mean, it's not, you can't say a lot have, but you're touching people in fitness and with your music and things like that, and I think it's really important for people to understand this. And I mean, this is what motivates and inspires people to want a little more out of their lives. And you're bringing that to the table for them.
Yeah. It's like, it helps them get up in the morning. And I mean, it helps me get up in the morning.
Well, hey, you and I mentioned this earlier in the show. You competed in the WBFF, right?
I brought my picture to show you.
Oh, I want to, let's take a look.
Office because this was his gift, but he said I could borrow it. So let's see, how's that? Oh wait, I gotta go this way.
Oh, look at that. We have to.
Yeah.
Look at that. And that was you competing? Oh, that's pretty cool.
I gotta go this way. Oh yeah. So this was WBFF in 2015, and that costume was made for me. I wanted to be Aphrodite, and it's Diva Fitness. I did two. I did figure and I did Diva Fitness. I have my medals over there too, but. And it was like a bucket list thing for me, but also I work with a trainer his name is Nick Ebner, and I've been training with him since 2013. And, first of all, a lot of people have said to me like, well, Dawn, you're a trainer. Why do you need a trainer? It's like, well, exactly why you need a trainer. Like, cause we all need a coach. Like,
you need something more. You definitely, and I'm with you on that 1,000%. It's like when you got someone that's
watch yourself first of all.
It's like a psychiatrist needing a psychiatrist. You need somebody to talk to. You need something. Trainers, and you can be good at what you do. Not everyone can be a trainer. That's the thing. You can be a great fighter. Doesn't mean you can teach someone how to fight. You can be a great bodybuilder. Doesn't mean you'll be able to teach someone how to do that. So that's the difference there.
Yeah, and I also think too. I mean, I thought, as a performer, okay, no problem, check. That'll be easy, getting on stage in heels and strutting my stuff. And then I thought, coming from my dance background, I thought, oh well, how hard can this posing thing be? Like, where you like make your lats flex and your back and you squeeze your legs and all that. It's so hard. And so I met my friend Sherry Newton, who's also a trainer. She's also an amazing hair and makeup woman, and she's done my hair and my makeup for my 1941 show. She taught me how to do the
she did all that. She did your hair and everything for that.
So she's another. There's a connection here. This is another.
That's pretty cool.
Multifaceted woman, goddess. I love her. And she's got her own business, and she's a posing coach. She's done tons of competitions, and I hired her, and I could not believe how hard it was to learn how to, like stand and strike a pose and do all that. And it was great. I mean, I did really well. I came in for figure. I came in second place, and then for Diva Fitness, which was really the more competitive group of women, I was top 5. So that picture was top 5.
That's a great outfit. That's a great outfit.
Yeah. And that costume, I mean, also the other thing is, I mean, these competitions are just like the album, very expensive.
Oh yeah.
And I actually did do a Kickstarter campaign for it. And, you know, I had heard all these stories about women paying like $2,000, $5,000 for a costume like that, which is not a lot of material, first of all. And I found a woman who had done the competition. She was also a seamstress, and she just like wanted to be part of it again because she had done it like a couple years before. And she's like, I'll make your costume for you. What do you want? And I showed her a picture, and she drew it up. And like, I think I paid $300.
Oh, nice. Nice.
You know,
she did good.
Yeah.
She'll remain nameless, but she did great.
No, her name, oh my God. I think it like just left me. Oh God.
It'll come to you as we continue on. Don't worry about it.
But I still wear that. I wore it to Halloween last year.
Oh, nice. Hey, you can, if you can recycle your costumes, you use them for other things. That's a good thing, because how often you wear something, even regular clothes, they sit in your closet for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then they just sit there. So you're making use of it, which is a good thing. And you stood up and basically you blew my line. I was going to say that people think you're wearing a dress right now, and you're not.
I'm going to show off my outfit.
Yeah, show off your outfit, because this is one of the. You're a brand ambassador for this company.
This is Savvy, and I'm a brand ambassador. And if you want to save $25 on your first, you can't see the leggings, but your first purchase, you can go to my Instagram, and in my link tree, I have the link, and you can their stuff's great. It's honestly, it's better than Lululemon. And it's very female, woman empowering. It's still in its pre-launch phase. So every week they launch new items, and honestly, they sell out like crazy. And it's for all sizes. It's very inclusive. It's diverse, and
it's strong material, right? Because talking about leggings, and I've seen women that wear leggings. They go to the gym. They have some that are really like tight. Like, I mean, you can throw a knife at it; it'll bounce off of it. But the comfort part of it and it being durable is important.
Yeah, they're kind of athleisure.
Athleisure.
Athleisure. We'll just edit that. Yeah, they're athleisure, and they have sweaters, they have coats, they have tops. They even have some nice dresses that are kind of made in this like spandex material, but kind of comfy stuff. I mean, their whole thing is like, I can wear this for an interview.
Right. Yeah.
Work out in this. I just did kettlebells this morning, and then I can sit here and be interviewed by you, and it looks like an outfit. But also I can throw a sweater over this and, go out, and it's comfy. It's size. And, I just got in with them in October, and slowly but surely, getting it out there to people. So if anyone's interested, please, Savvy, SAVVI, let me know.
SAVVI. They got to get in touch with you and learn more about it and support the business. It's a woman-owned business.
It is. The CEO and the creator, Jen, she's
Jen, kudos to you. If you're watching this, kudos to you.
There's a CFO guy.
Forget about that guy. We're talking about Jen. Jen and Savvy. That's what I care about. Jen and Savvy. That's what I care about here.
Savvy. Yeah, it's great. So I really do think, and it's actually it's priced a little bit lower than Lululemon too. So it's like, and you can become a brand ambassador if you want. It's not, if you want to.
You have a woman that's building a business, and she's building her own empire doing that. I love it, because that is, I mean, if you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to do it. So getting that out there and building it. Shoot, I may even bring her on my other show, Money Never Sleeps, to talk about her business, because that stuff I love hearing when someone is an entrepreneur and they're looking to do something and they're building up. I mean, that's great stuff. Jen, keep going. Make it all happen.
Well, my team leader is Betsy Rubel, and she was a big Broadway star, and she put me on her team. You know, she was like, "Hey, you got to do this," and she's got about like 9 women on her team now, and a lot of them are like, we were talking about Broadway and the artists who are out of a job right now. Like, there's a lot of them on the team, on Betsy's team, that are singer, dancer, actresses who this has now become their full-time job to help brand ambassador to Savvy and to get it out there.
But why not? If you're wearing, the cool thing is that you're wearing it anyway. So if you weren't wearing that, you would be wearing someone else. So at least this way you're promoting something that you're connected with, you have passion for.
Yes, that's why I went into it, because not only did I totally trust Betsy, but I was looking for a clothing company to align myself with and my brand with. And I get offers all the time. And, it's like a t-shirt. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. No, thanks. But it's flattering to be, people reaching out and messaging me and wanting me as part of their team. But this, because it's woman run and very inclusive, and mothers, daughters, grandma. I mean, it's just all women, and I love that about it. And like you said, like, I can wear it, I love it, and I can then promote it on my page, which is great. And I get a little cut, which is nice. So
which is good, man. There's nothing wrong with that. And now you use these outfits when you do yoga too, right?
I do.
The stretchability. That's what I was saying. I see some of these tights that women are wearing, and they can hardly move. They're like little robots. It's holding everything together, but they can't bend down. They don't have the flexibility. They don't have the stretch that the material should have.
Right.
So that's why I said if it has that flexibility, it can stretch and is durable, then you're talking about a high quality product at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
So I just promoted Savvy. Jen, that's it. I don't even want to cut.
There you go, Lou.
I want to promote Jen. Get her out there. Huh?
You too. You too can become a Savvy brand ambassador.
Oh, I think you got that covered. Spandex is not my thing. Oh, the tights aren't my thing. Now, I left that a long time ago. I left that in the ring a long time ago. Don't do that now.
There's some, I'm telling you though, you can wear it loose, you can wear it, comfy, cozy, however you want. Not everyone likes things tight,
Yeah, that's true.
That's part of the whole thing. Yeah.
There was one thing that I wanted to do before we come to the closing, is that you have something next to you.
Oh.
And I want to see the puppy.
Okay, hold on.
I want to see the little baby.
Hopefully she doesn't growl.
No. Oh, she'll growl, probably.
Mary, come on. Come here, you have to say hi. Oh, sleepy doggy.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Look at you.
This is Maddie Patootie.
Oh, Maddie, look how beautiful you are. Check you out, Maddie. They superstar already. Look at that. Look at that face.
Instagram page too.
She has her own Instagram page?
Yeah, it's Maddie the Terrier.
Maddie the Terrier. The people got to follow that for sure. All right, so I'm gonna call you Dawny. You have you have your music coming out. When is that due to come out?
That's coming out hopefully in June, and then I have another show which I didn't even mention.
Oh, we got to talk about that. Get that stuff.
Hold on.
We get to see your flowers on your wall. Your flowers that you got for Valentine's Day, probably.
That's
too.
right. Yes.
Look at that.
So I'm doing an Edie Gourmet show.
Ah.
And this was my flyer. Wait, I'm so confused. This is my flyer. That's me.
Okay.
There. That's me.
Look at that.
That's Edie Gourmet. This one's Edie Gourmet. That's Edie Gourmet. Oh my God, I'm so confused. Okay.
Edie Gourmet's on the bottom, and she's on your
Yes.
right, or
That's,
or your
oh
left.
my God, why can't I do this? That's your
Yeah, and I see that's Edie Gourmet, and then on your right you have her as well, and you're on your left, right?
Right, wearing a wig, of course. I'm wearing a wig.
Yeah.
That show was scheduled for March 14th last year,
So,
and
are you doing it now?
I had to cancel it because of COVID, like literally
Right.
the day before. So now I'm doing it. It's debuting on the Cape at
Okay.
the Center for the Arts on July 30th and July 31st. I might even do it in New York before that. I haven't figured that out yet, but the good news is about the summer is that things are starting to book up there on the Cape, and cross fingers that we can have full capacity at indoor events. There's some of my gigs are outdoor up there, but
Which is good. You get a lot of people around. But when you're doing cabaret, it's more intimate as
yeah,
opposed to being in front of, like if you have a rock star, got 20,000 people in the audience. A lot different when you have a couple of hundred. It's a more intimate affair,
yeah,
and the thing is that I think it's a little more stressful because you have people that are this far away from you, and they see everything, they hear everything. You make a mistake, they know, and it's
yeah,
different than being on a big stage, 100 feet from the next person.
yeah. It is. It's intimate theater. Another thing I can show you because I have it right here is I'm in this book.
Oh, cool.
So you want to sing cabaret? That's actually my director, Jeff Harner, on the cover.
Nice.
He's amazing. And I have a whole chapter in here
That's
about
a big book. Look at it.
Yeah, it should be used for colleges. I hope it is. My friends, my dear friends, David Sabella and Sue Matsuki put it together, and I have an entire chapter, which is really cool. Kind of like the way you're talking with me. They sent me a bunch of questions, and I filled it out, and I talk about my experience of being. That's the over here.
I see.
That's the 1941 kind of look, right?
Oh, cool. It's like Judy Garland almost.
Yeah, I love that photo. And so I got my own chapter, which is really cool, and I'm really proud of it. That came out last year, and hopefully,
see all these little things that people didn't know about you, they're beginning to know now. And I think that again, it's cool stuff because you're not pigeonholing yourself into one area, with the cabaret, the fitness, your range from rock to jazz, everything else. You're going to be, when everything opens up, I think your career is going to go up there. Now you're throwing the acting in there and stuff. It's funny. I was talking about singers who turned into actors. You have a handful of singers that actually became great actors, or successful actors. Not great, but successful. And it's just interesting that, the transition, you think it's so easy that you can go sing and then you go to act and it's a different animal altogether. But when you're a performer, you enjoy what you do. So it's not work.
right.
You're loving it. You're loving it. So that's positive. So now what I want to do, because we're going to close out the show, because I know you have a lot of things to go do. You have to walk that little guy, the little girl there, little girl. And I mean, just Maddie the Terrier, her Instagram, you gotta check it out. Maddie the Terrier. Why don't you let the listeners and the viewers know how they can follow you, learn more about you, and follow your journey, because this is a journey that is not even close to ending. You have so much more to do, and I'm looking forward to seeing you rise up. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
Thanks, Lou.
You're welcome.
There's a lot coming up. It is exciting and it's fun. It's just my name, Dawn Derow. You can find me on Facebook that way. I have 2 different Facebook pages, one essentially for my music, one kind of for personal stuff. Then I have Twitter, same thing, Dawn Derow. Instagram, same. And then my website is dawnderow.com. And then if you go to the contact page, you can sign up for my newsletter.
Okay, cool.
Also go to my YouTube channel and subscribe.
And they can see the foot thing, your foot video.
There you go. Foot video. You can do yoga. You can learn how to make my turkey meatballs. You can learn how to make we didn't even talk about food.
We didn't talk about food. This is why we have to bring you on again. We have to bring you on again. We're going to have a follow-up to this interview because there's more to you that I didn't know. And I mean, we would be on here for a long period of time. But I think the next time we bring you on is going to be fitness and food. And that's what we're going to focus on.
That would be
food. Yeah. And then maybe we'll bring a couple other people on. You know,
and you should have people write in questions too, about
that would be good. That would be good.
Nutrition and oh my God, that would be really fun.
Well, I think the next time we do it, because on Vero Hive, there are a lot of things going on. The next time we're going to be able to probably do it and have it stream live on somewhere on a page, maybe on your page, and have people interact in real time. So we're going to do some cool things.
Oh yeah.
We're going to make this work. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen, Dawn. All right. But great story. And the listeners and the viewers support Dawn Derow with what she's doing. She's doing some amazing things. Cabaret, singing, acting, fitness. She's cooking. She got a dog. She got stuff going. She got a boyfriend that supports her. A great guy. Don't know him, but he's a great guy. Okay. She has a great ensemble of people around her. And Dawn, I think that's the most important thing in life is who you surround yourself with. You've done a great job. You're adding more people to your circle, and that's a beautiful thing. But I want you to stay with me, Dawn. And again, for you guys that are listening and watching, make sure you go and find out more about Dawn Derow. She has a lot of stuff to offer. So you got to keep track. That's dawnderow.com, right?
Yes.
dawnderow.com. All right, stay with us.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
UCW Radio in your face.
What is your major malfunction? So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.